Welcome to the Metaverse.
Bloomberg.
Yeah, why don't I start this one out here?
Okay. Yeah,
for
do
you. This is Bloomberg. 5 reasons Microsoft is making Activision Blizzard its biggest deal ever. Microsoft Corp is buying Activision Blizzard Inc. in a $68.7 billion all-cash acquisition, uniting 2 of the biggest forces in video games. You an Activision Blizzard fan at all, Gonz?
I've applied. Ironically enough, there's a big Blizzard. I was about to say factory, but office down here where I'm at. Mm-hmm. I think it's like the main one, and I've applied multiple times to work there.
I remember that.
Never ever wanted to have anything to do with me. So
that's funny. Yeah, when I was down there, I felt very cool for being so close to the Blizzard headquarters.
Yeah.
Blizzard is one of the most famous video game companies that made StarCraft, Warcraft, World of Warcraft, Overwatch, League of Legends. It's the whole thing. Activision, also one of the oldest and most famous video game brands, and they merged recently to sort of create this behemoth video game empire.
Right.
And now Microsoft is buying them. So cool. It's the software maker's biggest deal ever, almost 3 times as large as the 2016 purchase of LinkedIn. Here are 5 key reasons why it happened. And I think this is fun because there's 5 key reasons. It kind of feels like they left one out, Gonz.
Really? Which one?
Oh, we'll get there.
Okay.
1, size. The transaction, if it can get regulatory approval, will create the world's number 3 global gaming company, catapulting Microsoft to just behind China's Tencent Holdings, the publisher of League of Legends. Oh, I got that wrong. Sorry. Blizzard, apparently. Oh, I was thinking Overwatch. League of Legends is not Blizzard. Please don't hurt me, gamers. I'm so sorry. Oh, I feel so much shame now. Oh, so much shame.
You're supposed to be the gamer expert over here.
I can't believe I said that.
Oh my gosh.
I've brought
My credibility has just tanked.
I must commit seppuku. Gamer seppuku. And game console, I'll do it in the metaverse. The game console rivals, the publisher of League of Legends, the game console rival Sony Corp, maker of the PlayStation. Activision couldn't compete in the new world of gaming on its own, Chief Executive Officer Bobby Kotick said in an interview, quote, "You look at companies like Facebook and Google and Amazon and Apple, and especially companies like Tencent, they're enormous. And we realized that we needed a partner in order to be able to realize the dreams and aspirations we have." Corporations are people too, Gonz.
Yay.
He said, as for Microsoft, quote, "Together, our ambition is to bring the joy and unity of gaming to everyone on the planet." Joy and unity of gaming. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella told investors on Tuesday. Just a fun comment. I think it's hilarious that the language is very similar to the RoboCops.
Right.
And there was just a study that came out. Again, I thought about bringing it to the show and I didn't. So I should start following my instincts a little better. Talking about the gamification of everything and how it's killing us, basically.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, everything is being gamified.
Yeah. So it really is. It's very strange to be on the precipice of this moment in human history where games lead everything. Economics, social interactions, gamification is even included on your employment. Uber famously has gamified the whole job. So you feel like you're playing a game while you're working for your income. And gamification is used in social psychology. It's basically for manipulative purposes. They call it motivation. But gamification is a great way to control large groups of people. So when you're talking about, Microsoft team, and some other big companies, Activision Blizzard, coming together to create a giant American-based gaming company, what you're really talking about is like a control mechanism for the masses. and gamification in these game companies, they show up in all different ways, even ways you might not notice it. And this article with the study I was reading was talking about how everything is gamified. You don't even know it. You need to train yourself to spot gamification, or else you're being, you can still game or participate with the gamification. But if you don't spot it, then it's, you're just sort of mindlessly moving through somebody else's economic system. Next up, we have mobile. This is the other reason. Its fastest growing segment of gaming. Activision owns mobile gaming studio King, maker of Candy Crush, one of the most popular games of all time. Microsoft has next to no experience in mobile gaming. Quote, we all know that the number one gaming device on the planet today is the mobile phone. Phil Spencer, the Xbox chief, who on Tuesday was named CEO of Microsoft Gaming, said in an interview, for similar motivations, see Take-Two Interactive Software Inc.'s deal to buy mobile game maker Zynga for $11 billion, announcing earlier this month. Zynga, I think, most famous for Farmville, if I remember correctly, or Seppuku. Mobile, just a note here, connecting this with the 5G movement and everything. Definitely connected to that broader trend. 3, bypass app store fees. Nadella wants his gaming empire to be big enough that gamers will come to it directly, bypassing Apple Inc.'s App Store. Microsoft has been at war with Apple and Alphabet Inc.'s Google over the fees the app stores charge for games. Quote, today we face strong global competition from companies that generate more revenue from game distribution than we do from our share of game sales and subscriptions, Nadella said on a call with investors. We need more innovation and investment in content creation and fewer constraints on distribution. Or as Spencer said, when talking about mobile phone gaming, distribution on those devices are controlled by two big companies. So Microsoft wants its own unfettered ability to distribute games and content, which is a fun clue towards some sort of big product for Microsoft. If they're not going to distribute mobile games through the App Store or Google Store, how in the world would they distribute games to phones? They must create their own hardware. So we got to keep an eye out for some Microsoft hardware, mobile hardware. 4, Metaverse Gaming is one of Microsoft's two big Metaverse plays. The other is Office and conference software. Nadella and Spencer already view the communities of gamers that have grown up around titles like Minecraft and Halo as similar to the Metaverse concept. The acquisition will offer even more massive and devoted game communities to create their own metaverses. When we think about our vision for what our metaverse can be, we believe there won't be a single centralized metaverse, and there shouldn't be, Nadella said. We need to support many metaverse platforms, as well as a robust ecosystem of content, commerce, and applications. It's really weird that metaverse was just like a weird thing that we had been talking about for years. And suddenly Microsoft is using it as a reason to make its biggest purchase ever in history. And I think that connects again with the hardware thing. Yeah, I think we can see a metaverse, a mobile / metaverse piece of hardware from Microsoft soon. Maybe it's the Metapod.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Because, we know Apple's working on a device. We know, who was it? Facebook. Facebook is already out there doing it. Yeah, Oculus is already out there. So I think you're right. This is one of those things, a hardware play on one level. But also, I think it's interesting how they talk about we believe there won't be a centralized metaverse. It'll be all over. But once interoperability comes into play, we're going to have all these different metaverses. And then eventually the rails between different metaverses will be created. And so there'll be like a metaverse one world order, or like the one single way to interact with all metaverses and stuff. And
as we know, that's definitely the plan. This whole decentralized metaverse thing is hilarious when corporations talk about it. Because if they could have the one metaverse, They definitely would.
100% they would.
Decentralization is not a value of theirs.
No.
It's just they know that they couldn't possibly corner the market on it, and so they just it's just virtue signaling, basically.
Yeah. I'll make your point.
And it's not even their virtue. It's fake virtue signaling.
Yeah, I'll make your point when I bring up my thing here, but you want to go through a couple other...
Yeah, the last one here is the 3 C's. Nadella corporate strategy has been coalescing around cloud, content, and creators. Microsoft wants to get as much of Activision's past and future content onto its cloud gaming service, Xbox Game Pass, which has been bolstering the software maker's sales with a steady stream of subscriptions revenue. The deal also lets Microsoft tap into a pool of players creating their own gaming content and worlds. After adding Minecraft, LinkedIn, GitHub, Nadella has been shopping for a big asset that would give him another large community of creators. He failed to land social video service TikTok and talks with Pinterest and Discord similarly went nowhere. Activision is the latest try, and this time he looks to have succeeded. Now, knowing what we know, and I know you know the answer, so let me just set it up for you. Knowing what we know about Microsoft and what they have been sort of quietly doing in the background, what connects all of these reasons together? The largesse of the size, the third biggest gaming company, mobile phones and new hardware, bypassing third-party fees and app stores, the metaverse, and of course, connecting cloud content and creators. Gonz, is there something that Microsoft has done recently that would tie a nice little bow around this New World Order beast system foundation they've laid?
666.
You guys remember, it is a patent that Microsoft made public a couple years ago now, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And it's patent number 060606.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, yeah, go ahead.
And I imagine that everybody here, even if you're a brand new listener, I imagine you've heard of patent 060606, but why don't you remind everybody exactly what it is? Because a lot of people think it's like a vaccine or something.
I have the Google patent page right here, and I'll leave the link in the description. Cryptocurrency system using body activity data.
Mm-hmm.
And so the abstract here says human body activity associated with a task provided to a user may be used in a mining process of a cryptocurrency system. A server may provide a task to a device of a user which is communicatively coupled to the server. A sensor communicatively coupled to or comprised in the device of the user may sense body activity of the user. It sounds like a robot wrote it. Body activity data may be generated based on the sensed body activity of the user. The cryptocurrency system communicatively coupled to the device of the user may verify if the body activity data satisfies one or more conditions set by the cryptocurrency system.
Very good.
And award cryptocurrency to the user whose body activate data is verified. Now, I got a couple things highlighted here.
Hold on. To put it in human terms, just to put, for all the humans out there listening, what Gonz just said was they patented the system for more or less a wearable piece of hardware connected to the blockchain and the cloud, which,
measures biometric data that can mine cryptocurrencies.
Movement specifically, but also other things that can mine cryptocurrencies. So when you talk about the Microsoft merger with Activision and Blizzard, you've got size, which is, I'm going through their reasons for doing it. Size. Okay, you need a huge company and to reach a huge amount of people to wear this new Microsoft wearable. Mobile, of course, this wearable will be on 5G, and you got to have it on some sort of mobile network, or else what's the point of anything? Bypass app store fees. It'll be their own patented system, and you don't need to pay Apple App Store fees when everybody's working on their Microsoft coin cryptocurrency that they're mining with your new piece of hardware. Metaverse, of course, gaming, cryptocurrency and gaming is inexplicably tied in the future. And the 3 C's, of course, cloud, content, and creators, having a huge, bunch of stuff that they can provide on this piece of hardware. So it seems perfectly poised, Gonz. And this merger was a signal. And I don't think a lot of people saw this or made this connection. But we can definitely see how things are lining up for this big, huge play that Microsoft is going to be making in the wearable blockchain gaming social space.
Yeah, and part of the patent here, Concept 24, talks about a device comprising of one or more processors coupled with a sensor that sensors body activity and, can gather that data into the network. And then another one that talks about, let's see, the system of any preceding or succeeding concepts wherein the body activity sensed by the sensor comprises at least of one body radiation emitted from the user, body fluid flow, a brain wave, pulse rate, or body heat radiation. I mean, literally, it's like
quite
complete tracking. Yeah, censoring.
But Gonz, if they were to make a device that could measure your brain waves, wouldn't that mean that it would need to be worn on your head? Mm-hmm. Perhaps this patent 060606 that they plan a massive rollout of hardware to connect everybody with cryptocurrency and the blockchain and the metaverse and the 5G. Perhaps located on the forehead.
Very much so. And then one of the things that it says here in the patent, which I think is important to specify, and I have before, section 0002, and it says how there's a lot of cryptocurrencies that exist. Some cryptocurrencies are decentralized. And then it says here, however, blockchain-based cryptocurrency can also be implemented in a centralized system, having a central point of control over the cryptocurrency.
That's so nice.
And then it says Bitcoin is one of the examples of blockchain-based cryptocurrency. It is described in it. And it's like, wait a minute, you just said how a cryptocurrency can be centralized, and then you flip back to Bitcoin, which is the most decentralized network that we have here on known Earth.
Yeah.
So I think
possibly off-world.
And yeah, possibly, yeah. All the satellites and moon bases mining Bitcoin now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is an important point because they don't want to piggyback on the open source, transparent, can take down the entire centralized banking system network that is Bitcoin. They want to have their own centralized blockchain, permissioned private system that all the biometric data can, and then all the you're going to work out and you're going to mine Bitcoin. That is part of the play to earn, the play to earn system where you're playing a game, or maybe if it's
well, you don't even need to work out. It could be the brain waves. It could be the
brain waves.
Your pulse, your blood pumping, your brain waves. All that can be transferred into mining cryptocurrency too. What's happening while you're playing video games? Your pulse is racing. Your brain is firing. You're doing the whole thing.
Here's the thing, though. Part of the whole medical dictatorship as part of this is that, hey, you're not getting if you don't get a certain amount of exercise, not only are you going to be unhealthy, you're not going to get paid.
Yeah.
You're not supporting the network.
Yeah.
So, I mean, right. It really is becoming more and more like what is prophesied in Revelation 13. I had a few other things highlighted, but I think you get the point here.
Yeah. I think it's interesting because just reading this interesting business article about a Microsoft acquisition. Ooh, I hope they make a lot of money and my stocks go up. But you really got to kind of pay attention to the things they've been doing recently and the trends of, technology in general. And they are really set up for something pretty intense.
Yeah, I like how the patent also says that most cryptocurrencies refers to, cryptocurrencies, digital currencies that use a blockchain, but it doesn't have to use a blockchain. And direct quote, the system, method, and computer program products described herein may be applied to both centralized and decentralized cryptocurrency networks or databases. So,
which matches perfectly with the Bloomberg article when, they're sort of virtue signaling decentralization of the metaverse.
Right. There you go. Along those same lines here, just keeping track of all the NFT stuff. This is another Bloomberg article in Technology Crypto. You won't need crypto to buy an NFT on Coinbase's market. And real quick, we don't have to read it, but basically Coinbase, which is the biggest exchange in the US, they're publicly traded company now, got into a partnership with MasterCard, and they announced it on Tuesday. And part of what they're going to build is an NFT marketplace so right now, the way it works is that if you want to buy NFTs, you have to download a cryptocurrency wallet, and you have to choose which network you're talking about. The biggest one is Ethereum. So you have to buy Ethereum. Mm-hmm. Then you got to get the Ethereum and go to a place like OpenSea, which is a Ethereum-based NFT marketplace. And then you buy an NFT, but then if you buy the NFT, you got to pay what's called gas fees. And those gas fees, because of the way the Ethereum network works right now, is very, very expensive. And it's just a big hassle. But Coinbase is saying, hey, forget all that. Just give us your dollars, baby. Mm-hmm. Straight fiat dollar. You can buy your crypto NFT.
That's their whole model.
I think this is going to be massive for adoption. I believe the number was 30 million people have Coinbase accounts. It's some huge number. So whenever they roll this out, it's going to be massive. And so just keeping that in mind. But meanwhile, while MasterCard teams up with Coinbase to stay relevant as we move into Web 3.0 and the fourth industrial revolution, over in Reuters here, under finance, headline, UK regulator fines MasterCard, others for prepaid cards cartel. They're in a little bit of trouble. It says here, London, Britain's payment regulator on Tuesday fined 5 payments companies, including MasterCard, a total of £33 million.
Yay.
For cartel behavior involving prepaid card issued to vulnerable people on welfare benefits.
Oh my gosh.
Cartel behavior.
Wow. They're just
Isn't that insane?
They're like loan sharking.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just funny that they would use the word cartel. Because we all know that's what it is. But for a mainstream news outlet and a UK regulator to use the words cartel behavior. Yeah, it's pretty kind of big, I think.
That is pretty funny.
And it gets into some of the more details here. The cartel meant recipients of the cards, who included the homeless, victims of domestic abuse, and asylum seekers, could have missed out on cheaper or better quality products, the regulator said. So, whatever. But there you go. I mean, it's a changing of the guard here. I think part of the process of the Great Reset of changing all this over is exposing some of it, and then we'll know who the true players are of the lizard people, elite, Illuminati, whatever, because they'll be like Teflon. They'll have all these things thrown at them, and some of the other companies will fall. They'll go by the wayside, but the ones that will survive and adapt will remain. And if the companies that do survive all bring the sentiments of the whole totalitarian rollout of Web 2.0, then we can expect, we'll know what to expect when some of the same players present their Web3 platforms or metaverses or whatever it may be, devices.